너만을 비추기
Some would call it darkness.
하지마 하지마 네가 그럴 때마다 미칠 것 같아.
Hi everyone! So, remember how last month I was all like, I don't know how many comebacks we'll get in April thanks to the quarantine? Well, apparently I'm dumb, because there was hella comebacks and debuts in April, as there always is, and May is shaping up to be quite the same. So much content to get into, and I'm excited to talk about all of it, but first I want to say thanks for all the support and new subscribers I've been getting lately, and welcome to anyone who's new. Most of my IRL friends will do anything to get me to shut up about K-pop, so it's nice to know that some people actually enjoy it.
What? No.
Now I'm gonna discuss all the most prominent debuts and comebacks from the month of April, moving from my favorite to least favorite. But keep in mind that April was a really good month for K-pop, and I didn't really hate any of the songs that came out, so the ranking is very arbitrary and could easily change depending on my mood. Okay, enough babbling. Without further ado, my favorite K-pop comeback of the month was... Oh my god is right! I am freaking obsessed with this. I love dark concepts and imagery, I love horror, I love good music, and I'm a lesbian, so basically I was destined to love this from the start. Genuinely, I can't think of anything I disliked about the song or the video except for maybe Minnie's hair. That was a little appropriation-y, but we all know that cultural sensitivity is not this group's strong suit. Nevertheless, I really appreciate the boldness of the song and the fact that it's not afraid to really go there on so many different levels. Like, these girls went after the church, they went after the homophobes, they went after the misogynists who think girl groups should be cute and quiet and pretty. All of it works together so well and sounds so good. I adore the drop in the chorus, I adore the church bells at the beginning and end, I adore the use of silence to connect the different sections of the song and keep the listener on the edge of their seat. And, most of all, I adore the use of female pronouns. Someone who isn't gay or has no interest in the LGBT+ community might interpret the song as being about being tempted and corrupted by an evil seductress, but most queer people I know have interpreted as the sort of self-hatred you can sometimes feel when you first realize your attraction to someone of the same gender. Because of the way our society is set up, it leads you to believe that there must be something wrong with you for feeling this way, or that the other person is doing something to you and you wouldn't be having gay thoughts if it wasn't for them. This is where the title of the album really comes into play. The album is titled I Trust, and Soyeon, who obviously wrote all the songs, has been quoted as saying that the album is about trusting yourself and your feelings and your intuition rather than what other people tell you to believe. This is what makes me pretty certain that she meant this to be about the LGBT+ community rather than just a simple allegory for temptation. Of course, you're all allowed to interpret the song in whatever way you want, but regardless, I love it, and it's my favorite J-Idol song to date, and I hope that I'll get to go to their concert once the tour is rescheduled, because now I'm even more excited about it than I was before. Am I the only one who had no idea that Changmin from TVXQ had a stage name? Like, when this first popped up in my recommendations, I was like, who the fuck is Max? But it was just Changmin, killing the game, as usual. This dude's voice is absolutely insane, and this song showcased that perfectly. It was almost as if someone over at SM was like, let's make a Panic at the Disco song, but in Korean, and then someone else was like, yeah, sure, but who are we gonna get to sing it? And then Changmin crawled up out of the SM dungeon singing,
I scared of electricity.
Needless to say, I love this song, it's so catchy and so well produced, plus all the tiny little unique inflections in his vocals make it really fun to listen to. He's basically like the entire vocal line of some other boy groups all simultaneously inhabiting the same body. And speaking of that body, I feel obligated to mention that the man looks absolutely flawless, and I would never guess by his voice or looks that he was in his 30s. Great genes at their finest. Still not sure what the song is supposed to be about, not even with English subtitles, but it sounds good, and that's good enough for me.
God, is it bad?
No! No!
I'm a villain 왜 아닐 거라 생각해 아주 못돼 먹은 작은 악마 같은 나인 걸 몰라
I went ahead and snuck in a little underrated bop here for you guys. I am obsessed with this song. I'm so glad that I stumbled across it because her vocals are so beautiful and I love this vintage, almost loungy, easy listening, vaguely European vibe. It's all very aesthetically pleasing. I would definitely recommend looking up the lyrics for this one too because it actually has some really interesting things to say. It's basically a commentary on how everyone is the hero in their own story, but a villain in someone else's. It doesn't matter how good or nice you think you are, there's always someone who just hates you for their own personal reason. The people you love most in the world might be awful to other people when you're not around, and the people you hate most all have families and people who genuinely love them. It's a top-notch concept and a stunning song that I believe she wrote herself, which is just mwah, chef's kiss. I definitely think that the Korean market could stand to have more music like this, and if the clips or anything I've told you sound intriguing, I highly urge you to check it out. This is such great quality stuff from her. In my mind, it's nearly impossible to beat Gotta Go from a strictly musical standpoint, but from a video/overall concept standpoint, Stay the Night blows everything else out of the water. The choreo is insane. Like, I'm no dancer, but I can't imagine how hard it must be to get all those little micro movements down and execute them all without looking ridiculous. It's an incredible tribute to voguing, and if Pride wasn't cancelled, I'm sure every K-pop homo would be blasting this from the rooftops, myself included. I also really like how dynamic the song is. It doesn't just stay, pun intended, in one place. It takes you on a journey and keeps you wondering what's gonna happen next. Also, this run here, I don't think people realize how much control over your stomach muscles it takes to produce a staccato descending run like this. Like, it's easy to go, stay, but stay is so much harder. I've said this before, but I think it's worth mentioning again. I think out of every single K-pop artist that currently exists, Chungha has probably the best chance of making it big in the Western market. Like, I'm talking BTS levels of fame and beyond. I mean, she's got the vocals, she's got the dancing, she's got the stage presence, she's likable, she's beautiful, she speaks English perfectly, and I could totally see her slaying on a stage right next to Ariana Grande without looking or seeming the slightest bit out of place. Not that I necessarily think that the Western market is where she should be, because obviously I prefer K-pop, but I'm just saying that she has massive international appeal. So yeah, with that mini tangent out of the way, I really love this, can't imagine what she's got planned for the actual title track, but I'm so hyped. Okay, so who else got extremely bias wrecked by Jaemin in this video? Like, oh my god, dude, I know you were just briefly involved in a dumb and malicious dating scandal, but please calm down, sir. Now, on a slightly more serious note, I'm really glad that NCT Dream is a sort of a fixed unit now, because if this was their last song ever, I think I'd be a tiny bit disappointed. It's not that I don't like it, because obviously I really do, you wouldn't be seeing it so early on in the video if I didn't, but it just really doesn't sound like a title track to me, and that kinda threw me off. I guess I was just sort of expecting more of that unique and upbeat poppy sound that Dream is really known for. Of course they've dabbled in the I'm so tough and rebellious concepts before, but that's not what NCT Dream is known for. They're known for unique songs that are fresh and upbeat. Personally, I think the B-side Love Again would have made a much better title track off of this album. Raiden is good too, but it definitely doesn't stand out as much, although maybe I'd like it more if I liked Cars. Even though the album sold really well, I'm pretty sure promotions for this have already ended, which is a shame because it does have a lot of cool things going for it, like this dance formation right here. And of course, we can't forget about those sick SM harmonies. So yeah, overall, I definitely enjoyed this, but I'm even more excited about what they'll do in the future. Also, rip to Haechan, because he just got done with this and now he's already got to promote with 127 again. Like, who does SM think he is? Mark Lee? Somehow, I completely missed the debut of this group. I think it happened during a month where there were a lot of other things happening, but regardless, I think they're really talented. Probably my favorite boy group debut of the year so far. And this song of theirs has such a pleasant, chill vibe. The video's got the bright colors, and the song's got the electronic rhythms that are becoming really popular in K-pop these days. In fact, here's some other songs that it reminds me of. But while this song is definitely reminiscent of many others, it still managed to stand out and catch my attention, which isn't easy to do. I don't know them that well yet, but I think the main selling point of this group is that they're incredibly well-rounded. Like, they have great singers and great dancers and great rappers, which basically means they can pull off any concept perfectly. Also, I'm pretty sure most of them are literal children, which means they're just gonna get so much better with time. A fun song, tons of potential, excited to see what the future holds for them, and hopefully they'll all refrain from using the N-word in the future, because apparently that was a thing that happened, but they did apologize at least, so that's encouraging. Okay, it's official. I love this group. I don't know what it is, but something about their sound really resonates with me. I love that it's weird, but not too weird. It's powerful, but still playful. It's cute, but not saccharine sweet. It kind of reminds me just a little tiny bit of early FX or Red Velvet's Red Side, and those are both huge compliments coming from me. This song in particular is very similar to their debut in that it uses a wide variety of instruments and synths and cool vocal effects to get this sort of modern take on 80s bubblegum synth pop. Like, the production on this is absolutely insane and I really dig it. I'd actually love to hear an instrumental version just so that I can pick out all the different instruments and samples they use. Also, this has nothing to do with the song, but I love how the girls in this group have really diverse styles and body types. It's very refreshing, and I hope that they don't get pressured into losing weight or changing their looks so that they all fall in line with the same rigid beauty standard that the rest of the industry seems to have. Again, just like with the previous group, I feel like there's loads of potential here, and I really hope that people support them so that they get a chance to share that potential. And here we have not a comeback, but a debut, and what a good debut it was. I could pretty much tell from the very first that I was gonna love this. And I was not wrong. Again, just like with MCND, these kids seem super talented and well-rounded. I love how the song takes the hard, edgy concept and just runs with it. I love the guitars in the chorus, I love the rapping, I love this random auto-tuned descending harmony. All of these were really great and interesting musical choices that took what could have been an average song and elevated it into a great one, in my opinion. Why hello there, beautiful underrated song with heavenly vocals and a message that literally made me break out into tears while I was reading the translated lyrics. How you doing? For real, you guys, this is such a masterpiece and I really want more people to listen to it. I know it's a ballad and that makes it less exciting than most of the other songs on this list, but it's all about hope and endurance and pushing through the hard times in life and making it through to the other side. And I feel like that's something we all need in our lives, especially at a time like this. So beautiful, and she wrote it herself, which obviously isn't a requirement, but it does make the emotional impact even stronger. Also, if you're a big fan of Taeyeon's emotional ballads, I think this is gonna be right up your alley.
Set fire, fire, fire. 뜨거운 입술로 뱉어. 빨간 내 입술로 내 뱉어. Up, down, down, 몸을 맡겨.
I have kind of mixed opinions on this. On one hand, it's Solar, and Solar always slays, but on the other, it's kind of disjointed. I don't know how to explain it really, but something about this whole song/video/concept feels off in some minute way that I can't really put my finger on. Like, the intro is absolutely incredible, but then it switches so quickly from tango to reggaeton vibes that you almost feel like you got whiplash. Then, just when you start vibing with the reggaeton, the chorus goes straight yeehaw. And that's not even mentioning the fact that the video doesn't seem to line up perfectly with any of it. The message of the song is great, the singing is great, the choreo is great, but it all kind of gets buried in the weird musical and visual choices. But then again, maybe that was the point. Like, maybe she's out here trying to say, I'm just out here vibing and doing my own thing, and if you don't like it, say it to my face, and don't try and hide behind online anonymity. Regardless, the song really did grow on me over time. Now the only thing that really bothers me is that the chorus feels a little bit repetitive. My high school choir teacher always used to say that if you're singing the same thing more than once, you should try to sing it differently each time. And I definitely feel like the song could have benefited from doing that, because as stunning as Solar's vocals are, all of the choruses do sort of have that copy and pasted feeling to them, which is a shame. So overall, a good, albeit weird song that could have been even better with some slight adjustments, in my humble opinion. Hey, this was so fun! Initially, I was a little bit disappointed that they went with a different vibe than Red Sun and Pinky Star, but after listening to it a few more times, I definitely grew to appreciate it for what it is, a fun, upbeat electro-pop song with a little bit of an edge. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Also, the styling was hella on point for this comeback. I think Mia looks hot with any hair color, but black-haired Mia just hits different, you know?
Oops, my heart went gay.
This is another group that is slowly creeping their way up my bias list, and I couldn't be happier about it. Also, I'm sure you already noticed it, but this logo needs to be changed immediately. So I really love GOT7's last release, which made me pretty certain that I was going to be slightly disappointed by the next comeback no matter what it was, and I did think that was the case at first, but Not by the Moon really does grow on you the more you hear it. It's meaningful and well written, and they all sound good on it, which is all I can really ask for, honestly. I wasn't the biggest fan of Eclipse, but I think that this captured a similar vibe in a much more elevated way, and I really appreciate that effort and growth. The choreo, as always, is incredible, the R&B vocals are always welcome in my book, and I love a good Shakespeare reference, so I think we can definitely call this one a win in the concept department. The only real downside I can think of is that they keep randomly throwing in non-rhyming English phrases about someone else being the reason they're alive.
You're the reason for my life. If you're not here, I'm not here.
That's some real mid-2000s toxic emo boyfriend shit right there. I've never really considered myself a fan of Oh My Girl, but Queendom did a wonderful job of showcasing their range. Yes, they generally do very cute songs that appeal mainly to the Korean market, but there's a lot of variety in their B-sides, and every now and again they'll pull out something like this with a little bit of edge. Mind you, there's not a lot of edge, it's still very cute and bright and bubblegummy. The video's got a giant rainbow teddy bear, for goodness sake.
Hey, bitch!
So yeah, still very Oh My Girl, but like an upgraded version of them, and I couldn't be happier about that. They really do seem like humble, sweet, hardworking girls, and they always seem so surprised whenever they do well on the charts, and I'm excited to continue witnessing their growth. So yeah, if you hadn't guessed already, I surprisingly really like this song. I think it's catchy, especially the chorus and the raps. I actually don't know the rapper's name, but she is really good, and she basically makes the song for me. Also, this has nothing to do with the music, but Yua is probably one of the prettiest girls I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, damn, she be serving them visuals. I guess you could say that I be staring at her non-stop. And here we have yet another new boy group by the name of Cravity. I swear y'all, it's so freaking hard to get taken seriously when you listen to groups with names like Cravity. Despite the name though, I do think these boys had a really solid debut, a little more reminiscent of other popular boy groups than the other two male rookies I've mentioned in this video, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that the verses of the song were a little bit bland, but the chorus was super catchy in a trippy, experimental way. I don't know if I'd say it broke all of the rules, but it definitely broke a few of them. I'll also go ahead and say that the vocals in this group, aside from the harmonies, weren't too awfully impressive to me as of yet, but there's still plenty of room for them to grow. Overall, a solid debut. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. I feel like this collab kind of slipped under the radar a little bit, but it was still pretty great. This is another really calming, vibey song, the kind of thing that you can have on in the background while you're driving or cleaning or working on homework. It sounds good without being too flashy or distracting. The vocals are killer. I don't really know Onewi that well, so I don't know their names, but they seem like a really good blend of a rock band and a typical idol group where everybody sings and dances. Obviously, Hwasa's vocals were heavenly on this, but they didn't overwhelm and take over the song either. She just sort of slid right in and stayed in a comfortable place that allowed the other vocalists to shine just as much. Definitely check this one out if you haven't already. Here's a sweet guitar solo to play us out. These last two songs are at the bottom of the list for pretty much the same reason, not because I think they're bad songs, but just because they sound similar to other things and didn't really capture my attention that well. Of the two, I do like this one a bit better because of the instrumentation in the chorus. I think there's like a steel drum somewhere and maybe some type of flute, I don't really know, but I think that was a good choice. It makes everything a lot more interesting. I think the choreo and vocals were good, no real complaints here, but it's just not something that's going to be added to my playlists. Doesn't mean I hate it or the girls or anything, this one's just not really for me, and hopefully I like their next one better. And finally, we have April. I'm kind of sad that the April song is the song that I liked least in April because now I can't say that April owned April, even though I technically just did. Anyway, kind of the same deal with the A-Pink song with this one. I don't think that it's bad, it's just a little flat and repetitive for my personal taste. That being said, I do like it more than probably anything else they've done in the past, and in a lesser month they probably would have made it more towards the middle of the list rather than the bottom. But hey, it just be like that sometimes. Regardless, I do recommend checking this song out if you like girl groups, especially Cosmic Girls, because this has a very similar vibe. I know that these girls' contracts are ending relatively soon, so definitely check out this comeback and see if you like it, because they definitely deserve some support. And that's it. Those were all of the April comebacks and debuts I wanted to get through. If I missed something, do feel free to let me know down below. Also, let me know what you thought of these comebacks because I'd love to hear it. If you want any of the merch that's flashing across the screen right now, I designed it all myself, and there's a link in the description if you want to buy it, but no pressure at all. I know the times are still tough for a lot of people, but I just wanted to remind you that my merch store exists. I hope you all enjoyed the video and stay happy and safe for the foreseeable future. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.